Did you know that there was a mega project that was made to accommodate millions of people, but ended up being empty? Large-scale projects are built to be solutions to nationwide problems. But what happens when billions of dollars of projects don't solve a problem, but end up causing another? From deserted airports to ghost towns, each with their own unique stories. Let's take a look at the most useless projects ever built in the world. 5. Interstate H3. Hawaii, a string of volcanic islands in the mid-Pacific Ocean, is famous for its stunning scenery. From its dramatic coastlines and lush rainforests to its snow-capped mountains and active volcanoes. Built amidst the natural splendor of Hawaii, Interstate H3 has a stunning infrastructure at first sight. Stretching over 26 kilometers, this highway promises a journey through landscapes so breathtaking they could distract even the most focused motorists. Despite its scenic beauty, winding through valleys and piercing mountains with tunnels, H3 is often cited as one of the most useless infrastructure projects ever built. Mega road projects are built to improve traffic flow, create jobs, and boost economic growth. The average project cost about $24 million to build, but the Interstate Hawaii project cost an enormous $1.3 billion to build. You might be wondering why this beautiful, massive project is considered useless. Sit still, let's find out. Its history, location, and controversies all play a role in the infamy of this project. H3's original purpose was to alleviate traffic congestion on the heavily traveled south shore of Oahu, specifically by connecting the Pearl Harbor Hickam Air Force Base complex with the Kaneohe Marine Corps Air Station on the east side. However, what began as a vision of connectivity soon collided with the reality of environmental activism and indigenous rights. In 1965, the state kicked off discussions about H3 with a public hearing at Farrington High School. As the proposal for Interstate H3 gained traction, so too did opposition from environmental groups and native Hawaiians. Concerns from groups who worried the project wouldn't follow environmental and permitting laws. They filed lawsuits and successfully stopped the initial plan to build the freeway through Moanalua Valley, which held important historical and cultural sites. Controversies about the ecological impact and fears of rampant urbanization cast a shadow over the project, leading to delays and route alterations. Due to their opposition, the route was changed to go through Halawa Valley instead. The road to H3's completion was long and arduous. Authorized in 1960, construction didn't begin until 1989 due to environmental concerns, legal battles, and engineering challenges. The route traversed the Ko'olau Mountains, requiring innovative construction techniques like viaducts and tunnels, including the 5 165-foot-long Tetsuo Harano tunnels. Finally, in 1997, after 37 years and a price tag of $1.3 billion, far exceeding the budget of $250 million, H3 opened its lanes. It wasn't long after, the question started lingering about its true purpose and practicality. Environmentalists questioned the project's cost-effectiveness, pointing out that the route primarily benefited military traffic. Critics wasted no time in voicing their skepticism, arguing that the defense considerations that once justified Interstate H3 were now obsolete. Furthermore, its failure to provide a direct route to downtown Honolulu left commuters scratching their heads. But perhaps the most poignant critique came from native Hawaiians, who saw the highway as a scar on the landscape, a desecration of sacred sites and cultural heritage. 4. Ciudad Real Central Airport, Spain. When it comes to mega projects, few stand as stark reminders of misplaced investments and dashed dreams, quite like Ciudad Real Central Airport in Spain.
It seemed like a good idea at the time, but now this airport is sitting desolate and empty.
It was conceived as an alternative to Madrid's overcrowded main airport. Ciudad Real International Airport, CRIE, also known by various names including Don Quixote Airport, was an ambitious mega-project in Spain that spectacularly failed to achieve its goals. This billion-dollar mega-project spiraled into bankruptcy and abandonment.
Projects going into bankruptcy are expected as many projects just like the Interstate Hawaii tend to exceed their budget. But what if that wasn't the sole reason why this project failed? Spain's primary airport, Madrid-Barajas Adolfo Suarez Airport, MAD, was experiencing significant congestion in the early 2000s. To alleviate this pressure, the idea for a secondary airport south of Madrid was proposed. Ciudad Real, located about 220 kilometers south of Madrid, was chosen as the site. The idea behind Ciudad Real Central Airport was as grand as it was ambitious. With plans to serve as a hub for holiday travelers within Spain and international visitors alike, the airport boasted one of Europe's longest runways and the potential to accommodate millions of passengers annually. Construction of KIA began in 2003 and was completed in 2008. However, from the very beginning, KIA was plagued by critical flaws, chief among them being its remote location. Situated 200 kilometers from Madrid, Ciudad Real Central Airport struggled to attract airlines and passengers unwilling to travel such distances. Unlike major airports with good connections to city centers, KIA was built in a relatively isolated location. Poor public transportation links made it inconvenient for travelers to reach the airport. Bankruptcy and abandonment.
A Spanish airport that cost €1 billion to build has attracted a bid of just €10,000. Ciudad Real's La Mancha Airport opened in 2008, only to go bankrupt and close by 2012.
Despite initial optimism, Ciudad Real Central Airport quickly descended into financial turmoil. Within a year of its opening in 2009, the airport found itself with only a single small-time airline operating flights. With no major carriers willing to invest, the airport accumulated a staggering $350 million in debt by 2012. Faced with financial problems, the company behind the project filed for bankruptcy, leaving Ciudad Real Central Airport to languish in abandonment. The once promising gateway to Spain's heartland became a haunting symbol of fiscal mismanagement and failed aspirations. While the Ciudad Real Central Airport in Spain faced challenges of location and accessibility, it wasn't much of a ghost town as the next mega project. 3. The Ghost Capital, Naypyidaw, Myanmar's empty city. You probably have watched movies where a city turns into a ghost town due to some cause, probably vampires and deadly diseases. Well, this might be a true representation of that, although the failure of this project is a little bit different. Throughout the history of urban planning, few projects are as intriguing or as perplexing as Naypyidaw, Myanmar's enigmatic new capital. Built in secrecy and unveiled to the world in 2005, this sprawling metropolis was intended to herald a new era of progress and prosperity for the Southeast Asian nation. Yet more than 2 decades later, Naypyidaw stands largely deserted.
Generals announced Naypyidaw as the new capital on November 6, 2005, and it's been a ghost town ever since.
Its gleaming infrastructure and grand avenue hauntingly empty. Naypyidaw is a bizarre urban anomaly, often referred to as a ghost town capital. Its construction remains one of the most puzzling and ultimately useless megaprojects in recent history. Let's find out why this ghost town capital is a cautionary tale for leaders worldwide. The origins of Naypyidaw can be traced back to Myanmar's military leadership in the early 2000s. Faced with the constraints of Yangon, the country's bustling commercial hub, and the desire for a more centrally located capital, the decision was made to construct a new administrative center from scratch. Construction began in earnest in 2002, shrouded in secrecy and shielded from public scrutiny. In November 2005, Myanmar's leader finally revealed the existence of the new capital, christening it Naypyidaw, which translates to the king's residence. Situated in the heart of the country, Naypyidaw was envisioned as a modern, well-planned city that would serve as the seat of government and a symbol of Myanmar's aspirations for the future. Despite its grand ambitions, Naypyidaw remains largely devoid of the bustling activity one would expect from a capital city. With its wide avenue, meticulously manicured gardens, and imposing government buildings, the city exudes an aura of eerie emptiness. Most of its infrastructure was completed with astonishing speed, including a 20-lane highway, luxury hotels, golf courses, and even a replica of a landmark from Yangon. Yet Naypyidaw's population remains sparse, numbering less than 1 million residents, a fraction of Yangon's bustling metropolis. The reasons for this emptiness are double, ranging from a lack of essential services like healthcare and education to the absence of economic opportunities that would attract migrants. Moreover, Naypyidaw's isolation from major population centers and its remote location has deterred many from relocating to the city. Despite efforts to promote Naypyidaw as a vibrant urban center, it remains a ghost town, its streets eerily devoid of the hustle and bustle one would expect from a capital city.
2. Forest City, Malaysia. Located on reclaimed land across 4 artificial islands, Forest City initially served as a beacon of innovation and sustainability in Malaysia's ambitious urban development landscape. Promising a green oasis with futuristic amenities, the project captured imaginations and investment dollars alike. Like many projects, Forest City had its troubled history, but what could have led to the failure of this project? And why is it considered one of the most useless mega projects ever built? Forest City emerged in 2006 with a grand vision. It aimed to solve the problem of limited space in major Chinese cities by offering luxury high-rise living on man-made islands just off the coast of Johor, Malaysia. The project specifically targeted affluent Chinese buyers seeking a tropical escape with investment opportunities. Forest City promised to be a green haven, boasting advanced technology, eco-friendly features, and a car-free environment. As construction progressed, Forest City encountered a host of economic and political challenges that undermined its viability. The project's heavy reliance on Chinese investment sparked accusations of neo-colonialism and inflamed tensions with local communities. Concerns over affordability and accessibility further alienated Malaysian residents, who felt excluded from the project's vision. Moreover, the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic dealt a severe blow to Forest City's prospects, halting construction and stalling investment. Travel restrictions and economic uncertainty exacerbated existing issues, leading to a downturn in property sales. Political changes in Malaysia further complicated matters, with a new government imposing restrictions on foreign ownership and signaling a shift away from the project's original vision. The once promising partnership between Malaysia and China is now strained under the weight of economic disparities and political discord. 1. Yucca Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository. Born in the 1980s as a solution to the growing problem of nuclear waste disposal, Yucca Mountain was meant to provide a safe and permanent repository for the nation's most hazardous materials. However, decades later, the project remains rooted in controversy, political debate, and uncertainty. Nuclear waste poses a significant environmental and public health risk if not stored properly. As the number of nuclear power plants grew across the United States in the latter half of the 20th century, so too did the need for a long-term disposal solution. In 1987, Yucca Mountain in Nevada was identified as the ideal location for such a repository due to its remote location and geological stability. From the outset, the Yucca Mountain project faced staunch opposition from Nevada residents, politicians, and environmental groups. Concerns were raised about the potential contamination of nearby water sources, the transportation of hazardous materials through populated areas, and the disproportionate burden placed on Nevada to host the repository. Despite these objections, the project received approval in 2002 and construction began. However, the political landscape surrounding Yucca Mountain remained fraught. Changes in administration and shifting priorities.
Millions, billions of dollars have been spent in studying Yucca Mountain.
Led to fluctuations in funding and support for the project. The Obama administration deemed Yucca Mountain unworkable in 2010, halting funding and effectively putting the project on hold. While a federal court ordered its resumption in 2013, progress has been slow, and the Biden administration has made it clear that Yucca Mountain is not part of its plans for nuclear waste disposal. The Yucca Mountain project has not only been marred by political and logistical challenges, but has also come at a staggering financial cost. Over $17 billion has been invested in planning, research, and construction efforts, with little to show for it. Despite decades of planning and expenditure, Yucca Mountain remains unused and unresolved, leaving the nation without a long-term solution for its nuclear waste problem. What do you think about these mega projects? Are you optimistic that they could be of immense usefulness later in the future? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so as not to miss out on other updates.